To extend the battery life and slow down the battery aging process on this phone, you can do several things. Most of them can be done by going to the battery in the settings, and here you can use first and foremost the battery protection. You can start with the basic one. However, if you are not bothered with lower battery percentage when you charge it, if you can limit the battery to, for example, 80%, then it is actually recommended to use the maximum battery protection. Otherwise, try to use at least the adaptive one. However, if you are annoyed with the adaptive battery protection, then just stick with the basic one. From time to time, you can use the power saving option that allows you to slow down the phone a little bit, reduce the performance, and also use these options here in order to keep the battery for a little bit longer. However, if you don't want to always manually enable and disable the power saving mode, then you can also tap on these three dots to find adaptive power saving, which allows the phone to learn how you use the phone, when you use it, and so on and so forth, and based on your usage the phone will create a pattern, and based on that pattern the phone will automatically toggle power saving. You can also use the dark mode as it uses less battery in general, and if you prefer to use light, then you can also try the schedule for the dark mode. You can create a schedule based on your own selected time, or from sunset to sunrise, which is based on location. Disable always on display if you do not use it at all, because it definitely uses lots of battery overall. We're gonna actually go back to the battery because we can also use the background usage limits option, where we can include sleeping apps that will run in the background only occasionally, and updates and notifications may be delayed for these apps, as well as deep sleeping apps, which are apps that never run in the background and may not receive updates or notifications at all. Remember that you can also use the quick settings in order to quickly access some of the connectivity options, and they cannot, well, they can be always enabled, but they don't have to be always enabled. So for example, if you are not connected to any Bluetooth device, just turn off Bluetooth. If you are outside of your home or you don't have the access to the Wi-Fi, just disable Wi-Fi, and of course you can turn it back on when needed. And the same goes with mobile data, location, and NFC. In the display settings, we can also use adaptive brightness, which is the automatic brightness, which automatically adjusts the brightness of the screen based on our environment. And also we have the screen timeout option, which can also be reduced to 30 seconds or 15 seconds if you keep screen on while viewing. This also has an impact on the battery, of course. And the same goes with the motion smoothness, where we have the option to switch between 120 and 60 Hz of screen refresh rate. However, of course, it is generally more pleasing to use 120 Hz, so if you prefer the smooth experience of the screen, then of course stick with the adaptive. However, if you prefer the battery life, then of course switch to standard. You can also try to charge your phone in the most optimal way, which is keeping the battery percentage between 20 and 80%. That means that you should start charging your phone at 20% and stop charging at 80%. This is why we have maximum battery protection, which limits the battery to the aforementioned 80%. And of course more as well, if you prefer to have a little bit more. However, the most optimal one is 80%. And this is how batteries work nowadays on the newest smartphones. They work the best when they have between 20 and 80%. And these are all main tips that allow you to extend the battery life on Samsung Galaxy A56 5G. Check out this playlist to find more guides, like, comment, subscribe.